unveiling the stories and people that make our town so unique. I'm your host, David Wool, and I'm thrilled to bring you this new podcast that explores fascinating stories and experiences of local business owners and community leaders right here where we call home. Grayslake Rehabilitation Center is a community-based private practice physical therapy provider. Do you know they have 13 clinical providers with various levels of specialties, including orthopedics, sports, neurology, vestibular, geriatrics, pelvic floor, and aquatic? What? Did I just say they have a pool? Well, they do, and it's the largest indoor warm water pool in Lake County, featuring 2 underwater treadmills and swim currents. And recently added clinical treatment specialties, in layman's terms, Shockwave. They have both radial and focus units that are the newest tool in regenerative medicine, available to everyone. They pride themselves on the most current and up-to-date specialized care to keep you moving. If you're looking for physical therapy, make sure to see our friends at Grayslake Rehabilitation. 1 minute, your world is normal. The next, it's gone. A flood, a fire, a crime scene. Your home shattered. Your business shut down. Your life on pause. But in the darkest hour, when chaos knocks at your door, that's when Serve Pro of Northwest Lake County shows up. Not just a company, not just a cleanup crew, but neighbors, parents, coaches, locals who care. Drake and his team aren't just restoring properties. They're restoring peace, restoring dignity, restoring lives. So when your worst day arrives, call the oh no guy who becomes your thank God guy. Serve Pro of Northwest Lake County. Locally owned, nationally known, unshakably trusted. From devastation to restoration. Serve Pro, Northwest Lake County.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to yet another episode of Discovering Grayslake. We are recording on a beautiful Monday morning here at the end of Center Street and Lake Street at the Loop Marketing. If you guys are in the market for marketing, Eli's an awesome dude, and come down and see him, and shout out to him for letting me record here, so I appreciate that. So today we have some exciting guests and exciting information we'd like to share with our town and our business owners. So why don't we just go around the table first and you introduce yourselves, and we'll go from there.
Sure. Hi, I'm Sarah Gallagher. I own Alwyn Anthony Salon, and I'm also on the board of directors for the Grayslake Chamber.
Nice.
Awesome. I'm Ryan Curtis. I'm a State Farm agent here in downtown Grayslake. I am also on the board of directors for the Chamber.
And I'm Jamie Hurring. I run the Hurring Homes team of Coldwell Banker Realty. And I also am in good company, and I'm on the Grayslake Chamber of Commerce board of directors.
Nice. Okay, so what we're here today to talk about is that Sarah and I were talking to, and she's so excited because we're starting a new small business grant. Is that what it's called?
Yes, sir. Correct.
Okay, good.
Yes.
So how did this committee come into, or what was the idea behind this?
Sure. So I think that one of the biggest things behind this was that we wanted to support small business through a grant system. And I think it's something that the Grayslake Chamber has been wanting to do for quite some time. And it's been in discussion at the round table. And at the beginning of 2025, we realized that we think we can finally make this dream come true. And we were discussing it at a meeting, and it's one of those things that you talk about it, at some point you got to take some action. So we did. We stepped up, and all three of us are here because we started the Small Business Support Committee within the Chamber that then have developed or helped to create the small business grants for 2026 launching.
Okay, so this is the first time this is happening, right?
First
for a small
time.
business grant.
Yes.
In history.
With our chamber. There's a number of local towns that have a similar grant program. So we we're ready to do it here in Grayslake to give back to the businesses.
Beautiful. Now, what kind of, first of all, who can apply for this?
Oh, well, I have the eligibility requirements here. So you need to be a member of the Chamber of Commerce. So that's first and foremost. And there's hundreds of members, so it's a very popular organization to be part of. You have to have a legally operating small business in the United States and Illinois. The use of funds must be used for a specific approved purpose that aligns with grant priorities. And there has to be a financial need, an emergency or hardship assistant. The business has to have a legitimate need for financial support. So those are the main things. But first and foremost, we really want to support the Grayslake Chamber of Commerce members and give them an opportunity to take advantage of the fact that we have, a couple thousands of dollars to give back to them.
Looking for a car dealer that actually feels like your hometown? Welcome to City Chevrolet of Grayslake, where the vibe is friendly, the pressure is off, and you'll always be treated like family. Meet Anthony Scala. He's just not the owner. He's a guy that grew up in the car business, worked his way from porter to owner. Anthony believes in people first. That's why City Chevy sponsors your kids' teams, your town events. And matter of fact, this show, they give back every chance they get. Anthony thinks that the experience of buying a car should be fun. No pressure, just honest people who care. Whether you need a new Chevy, a quality used car, or just service you can trust, City Chevy is here for you. Come visit City Chevrolet of Grayslake right off of 120. And thank you for sponsoring our town, our stories, our voice. Let's get after it, Grayslake.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, too, we really wanted to focus on the little guy. There's so many great programs that are available even through the village, and we've seen some great businesses be awarded over time. But we wanted to focus more, again, on like that smaller business feel, because truly, when you take a look at the Chamber of Commerce, at the events that we do, and the people who volunteer, you see a lot of the same faces, like amazing people who just really give back to the community with love and their whole heart. And so that was part of the inspiration behind this, right, was that small business focus. And I know for me, I've been open for 16 years. There's many times over the years that I could have benefited or maybe had some like really exciting idea that could positively impact the community, but maybe needed a little extra funds behind that, right? And that's what's exciting about this is that we have 2 different categories that small businesses can apply under. It's not only hardship, which we'll talk about. But,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so my first question, and I know everybody always wants to know, I know you'll find this, you'll understand. First of all, where does the money come from?
Directly from my pocket. No, I'm kidding.
Well, I think Ryan can talk about that.
Yeah.
I can
Mr.
touch
Ryan
on that
Curtis.
a little bit. Sorry, my foot is squeaking. So the primary source of the funds come from the golf outing that we do for the chamber, which is every August, and we use that event to pull together the funds. Also, do a lot of business networking there, and connecting other business owners with each other, and that will be able to translate then into what should be sustainable grant program.
Gotcha. By the way, great job on that. The golf hunting was fantastic.
We had a lot of fun.
I think that was good. I kind of remember that. So that's where the funds come from. So, all right. I know one of the things is hardship assistance. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so the 2 different categories that we have that are available to apply under, depending on the small business needs. Of course, the number one that's obvious is a hardship assistance grant. That is under emergency needs. So it's unexpected costs due to accidents, weather events, vandalism, or other critical disruptions. And a business that's facing financial struggles due to unforeseen circumstances. So this, of course, is beyond like what an insurance could cover, and maybe Ryan, you are a specialist in this that could touch on, but hardship.
We thought about like dog and suds is a good example.
Excellent example.
Last year, a lot of that's covered by insurance, but like the emergency signs, which the Sign-A-Rama in Grayslake donated, but that could have been emergency signage or signage to say that we're coming back next year. Like that would have been a great example of a use of a grant.
Absolutely.
Perfect example.
Yeah, and you see stuff like that happen, and I know Ryan and I talked to this a lot. So that's one of those things that the unforeseen things that people think they're covered or they need extra help that insurance doesn't cover. So that's an awesome way. So one is that, and what is the other criteria?
The next one is business and community impact grants. So beautification, like improvements to your storefront, signage, or other visual enhancements that contribute to the local business environment, community benefit, projects or initiatives that contributed to positively to the Grayslake's local economy or public spaces, growth and expansion. You could use the funds for marketing, technology upgrades, improvements like that, and it has to have a measurable impact that's positive for customers, employees, and the local communities. So that one I am really excited about. I mean, we always think about the hardship. We want to be behind that for sure. But if you have someone who has some great innovation, and again, something that positively impacts the community, and we're like, yeah, that is an amazing idea. Let's run with it. Let's go with that. I'm down. Right.
We thought we were talking about Black Lung. So right next door, Black Lung Brewery. He took the sign from his last location and brought it to the new location. And I remember he posted on Facebook and said, it is so small. And as someone who owns, a sign company, like I get that. Like they're much bigger than you think. And we thought that would be a great example. He should apply for one of these grants because then we may not be able to pay for the entire sign, but we can contribute to getting a new Black Lung sign on the outside of the brewery that fits the magnitude of the space.
Sure.
So if you're listening, you should apply.
I know Josh listens.
Josh listens, yeah.
Well, we're going to find out if he does.
He sure does.
When you have your first applicant.
Yeah, better be Josh Grams.
And even for marketing, I mean, when you're a new business owner and you factor in all the things, sometimes you forget how expensive marketing is. And so they could even apply for something like that, and showing a true need for it.
Gotcha. So let's jump ahead really quick, and then we'll come back to some details. So, because sometimes in the beginning of episodes, it's nice to say, like, where are they going and where do they go to apply?
Great. So you're going to go to the Chamber of Commerce website, and there's a tab that says Chamber Resources.
Chamber Resources.
Yes. So under Chamber Resources, there's a very clear, well-lit little square that you'd click on. It actually brings you to an entire slide deck presentation.
Oh, slide deck.
I had to say slide deck because this committee, earlier in the year, I said PowerPoint, and apparently
you don't say that anymore.
You don't say that
You just
anymore.
say
Show your age. Yes.
Yeah, don't you know? So go to the Chamber Resources tab, and there you will find a beautiful slide deck with all the information that you'll need and what we're covering today as well. The application will go live January 2026. So it's not yet up there, but it is a beautiful application. Thank you, Ryan Curtis. Don't worry, friends. It's not a bazillion questions, right? But it's all very clear information that we'll need from you to evaluate. And once the application is submitted, we as a committee will take a look at it within 48 hours or sooner if it is more flagged emergency,
right,
and then go from there.
How many people are in this committee?
Us.
Oh, you
The
three.
three of us.
That's good. So they can, when they're looking for stuff, they can.
You can ask any of us.
Okay. So, and I think that's the thing, that it's nice to do something like this because we can answer a lot of the common questions that people might have. Because I know there's a lot of businesses out there that could use a hand up, right? Because we've all been in that situation, right? Where somebody needs things or unforeseen things or just trying to enrich your business.
Yeah. And back to, there's just three of us now. We're just the start of this, and we're opening up to new committee members for 2026, of course, within our chamber. So if this is something that speaks to you, that gets you very excited, and you are not yet a chamber member, we would like to recruit you. And by the way, you do not need to be on the board of directors to be a part of a committee. As long as you are a part of the Grayslake Chamber,
Nice.
as a member, you too can serve on a committee like us.
Right.
Good push there.
So you
Like
can join us in this mission to help small businesses.
That's awesome.
We're taking a quick break just to say hello because everybody knows Nano, and Nano knows real estate. And actually, I believe that's the name of her Instagram page. So if you're looking to buy a home, sell a home, or know somebody in the market for a home, contact Nano from Baird & Warner. She's a Grayslake girl helping out Grayslake people.
The Grayslake Chamber of Commerce isn't just networking, it's opportunity. Members get exposure through local events, online directories, and social media, plus access to exclusive resources that help businesses succeed. Make new connections, grow your brand, and be part of the events that bring our town together. Learn more and join today at grayslakechamber.com. The Grayslake Chamber of Commerce, the new wave of business.
Another thing, a lot of people that listen, that I've talked to people that have businesses that aren't a member of the chamber, and I, for my whole life, was never a fan of being a part of a chamber because I didn't see value in it.
Right.
But until I'm a part of this chamber, there's so many good things going around. It's just not, the networking itself pays dividends, 100 times over.
I think we're trying to go. The Grayslake Chamber has kind of a unique role with Grayslake where we really run a lot of the events in Grayslake. There's a partnership with Grayslake. Money comes from Grayslake, but they work together to, like, the tree lighting is put on by the Village of Grayslake and the Grayslake Chamber of Commerce. I think there's 8 events. It changes every once in a while. There's a number of events that the Grayslake Chamber runs. So, like, we wanted to get to the point where we're not just event planners. We wanted to say, like, what can we actually do to give back, to support small businesses? We've had, like, really a big push of networking luncheons. And, like, the last one was about planning for the next year, 2026. And it was great because it was, like, our biggest crowd that we've had, I think, in a luncheon in a long time, almost 40 people.
40 people.
And so that gives people a chance to network and then learn strategies from professionals in the industry that they can apply to their business. And so we feel like this grant kind of goes along the business side of the chamber. I don't love that we're just doing all event planning. Like, that's not we're running a business and then doing that. So I feel like this is a good balance to, like, still give back to the community by supporting events, but then also help us support small businesses.
Yeah.
It's just one way to see everybody come together.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
There's that. No, that's all right. One of the things that I think is relatively unique to Grayslake is just exactly how involved in community making all of the small businesses are that make up our chamber. And Dave, you and I have talked about this in the past. I mean, this downtown area, Grayslake in general, not just downtown, but is just filled with business owners that are intent on making a community. Yeah. And this is trying to help out the helpers, if that makes any sense. So if we can, put a little bit more into the hands of somebody who will do more with it, then we can help build that community even stronger.
Right. I love that, because there's so many people that do so much, and it's nice to have an organization that can give back to somebody that needs it.
Yeah.
I think that's great. All right, what are we missing on here? I want to know all the good info because you guys have your notes here.
There's a lot of details.
I know there's a lot of details.
This has been a year of planning. There's been so many lunch and learns that the 3 of us have hosted. Really, you're taking a program that had nothing, like zero, and then to build up, like, the rules and the guidelines and the application and really come up with the framework so that way we can hit the ground. And I give Sarah credit that I would have been like, let's go, let's get it done, like, this year. And she's like, let's launch in 2026. So we really have spent this entire year preparing and publicizing it. We've hosted a number of luncheons with the Grayslake Chamber. So that way it's not the first time someone's going to hear about it should not be January 1, 2026. Right. We've really talked about it for a whole year. But maybe we want to talk about, like, some of, like, the impact grant. I think that it's a little bit different than a hardship grant. It's like some of the things on the application that we're looking for is, like, we just want to know the details. Like, what's the specific project that you're going to use this grant for? And, like, what's the total estimated cost of the project? They'll have to tell us how much funding they're requesting. Is it time sensitive, or is this something that's more open-ended? And then we also ask if they've secured any other sources of funding for this project. But we want to know how it's going to positively impact the community. And I think, like, accessibility was one of the reasons. Like, if you have a step up into your business, that would make your business maybe needs to become more accessible for disabled, people. So I think that would be a nice, or differently abled people. So, like, that would be nice. If you need handrails or something like that people aren't even thinking about, that would have a large impact on a community.
I love that, because I never would have thought of that at all. Mm-hmm. But that's huge. Mm-hmm. So that's one of the things that's on there.
Mm-hmm. You could help your business. Like, we have a small ramp going into my office, but if we didn't have that, there's a lot of people that just can't take steps. Like my dad, he can't take steps up into a building. So having a ramp or having some way for people to access is really important. That makes all of Grayslake accessible.
Interesting. Great example. I love that.
Yeah. That just kind of gave me an idea as well. I mean, I'm fortunate enough to also own the building that I'm in, and my bathroom is grandfathered in. It's teeny tiny, right? I would love to expand it, right? So it is a challenge for some people, right? And the expense that you have to go through, and the permits and all the things that you need to do, necessary, right? But just sometimes added expenses that you don't really factor in as small business owner as you go down this tunnel of, like, okay, we need to expand my bathroom, we need to make it easy for everybody. what is involved with that. And even like permit costs can really add up too. So
Sure.
yeah, that just brainstorming.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think one of the nice things about the way that we've structured the whole process, the whole application, is that it is relatively open-ended to take advantage of the creativity and the ideas that the individual business owner requesting the grant might come to the table with. We're not trying to pigeonhole a specific type of grant here. It's pretty wide open criteria.
It sounds like you guys might learn a lot from this first time where people are applying that stuff maybe you never even thought of, right? Because people have some creative ideas out there that they want to move on.
But I think our fear is that they don't apply. And then we have, I think we're at 10,000 for this budget, 10,000 roughly a year. So if no one applies, it'll roll over to the next year, which is fine too. But we'd love to be able to like market it and say, and that's part of the requirements too, is like it can't be a secret project. Like you have to apply, but then we have, as a chamber, we want to probably get them on your podcast and talk about like how did this impact you, and have him marketing the project, because that's just publicity that will help us expand the program. But we're excited for our first applicant, whoever that may be.
I'm going to be on the first day.
Yeah. You're going to be like,
Yeah. I mean, how amazing would it be for them to jump on your podcast and just share some of these touching stories on how it really changed their business, maybe like a year from now or 2 years from now. Right?
Absolutely.
That's what we're really hoping for. And we want to give out as many grants as we can for those who qualify within that 10,000. So we are going to put like a $2,000 cap on some of them, just so that we can really spread the wealth, if you will, that first year. And these things may change as we go. It's all about learning, and we realize that 2026 will open it up to a lot of learning, right? But just the fact that we have started this fire, right, is a huge deal. And
it's a contribution. It's not necessarily going to pay for the entire project, but it might be a big contribution, or take some of that expense. If it's $2,000, well, that's going to pay for a lot of his, let's say, the sign for the brewery. So that sort of idea, that we're really just trying to lighten their load.
Be a multiplier of sorts.
Yeah, and help them go a little farther.
Yeah, and we really hope, of course, to grow this fund, because all the fundraising really is going to stem from, us.
Yeah, I mean, it's one event right now that is contributing to it, but there's nothing to say that it won't grow beyond that, should the demand for it grow.
Looking for a place where there's always something happening? Welcome to the Grayslake Village Center. Whether you're planning a family outing, a date night, or a fun night out with friends, the Village Center has something for everyone, year-round. Enjoy a fantastic mix of restaurants, unique retail shops, and exciting events that bring the community together. And just steps away, you'll find Central and Gelatin Parks, home of the library, aquatic center, skate park, senior center, and numerous recreational opportunities. Whew, that's a mouthful. So if you're looking for something to do, come explore, dine, shop, and play right here in the heart of Grayslake. Find out more at grayslakevillagecenter.com. And go check them out on social media and give them a like, give them a follow.
I think there's a lot of us out there as small business owners that do look to help other small business owners where we can.
And there's hundreds of members in the the Grayslake Chamber of Commerce.
I looked through the list the other day, the booklet came out, and I had no idea
There's
that
so
there were many people on there.
So those really are people who really can take advantage of the program.
Yeah, and I like that it's not just for emergency things, especially like no small business owner is a dreamer, right?
Definitely not
happens.
me.
But maybe this will encourage somebody to do something that they really want to do that will enrich everything, including our town, and maybe just a way to help them. I think that's cool.
Completely agree. And again, like the more that we build up this fund, the more that we can help the small businesses and continue to grow this. And I'm really grateful to Natter from the Beer Bazaar. He came up with the great idea and got approval, of course, through the chamber. The chamber launched a 75th anniversary bourbon. And so $5 from the sale of that bottle will go to this fund.
Oh, that's where it's going.
Which is also helps beef it up a little bit, right?
So people can drink and give back.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a win-win.
Sounds like a win-win.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Yes.
And those bottles, I think, are available for purchase from Beer Bazaar for
Beer
sure.
Bazaar.
Yeah, and some local businesses.
Yeah, they're right when you walk in the door. You can't miss them. They're straight ahead.
So
And
cool.
beautiful bottles, by the way.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
did a great job with the design.
Really
he
really
put
cool.
in a lot of work into that project.
Yeah.
Yeah, they partnered with the Whiskey Acres Distillery, and it seems to have, I read like a vanilla and a bit of cinnamon.
Yeah, I got to hang out with Pat all Saturday on Small Business Saturday, which unfortunately snows so much. But I will be the first to say that it is very good.
It warms
It
you
is
from
very
the
good.
inside.
this
This is a good day to be warm.
Yeah.
Yes, a very good day to be
Just
warm.
like a small business grant.
Right.
It's a
and the,
hug.
And the cool thing about the bottle too is, even though if you didn't know that the $5 was going back per bottle there, it's a cool thing of memorabilia to have from town. I think it's a really cool thing to do.
Well, Grayslake's a really special place, and I think that's the point of this grant, is that we recognize all the businesses. We recognize it's not just one business, it's hundreds of businesses that make up Grayslake community, and not just, they don't have to be in Grayslake to be a member of the Chamber of Commerce. We have members from all the surrounding communities that are part of our Chamber of Commerce, and I think Grayslake is so special, and this is just a way to highlight the businesses who are part of the Chamber who need a hand up and who have a creative way to take advantage of this grant.
I love that. I wanted to make one side note about that too. So people that maybe aren't a member of the chamber that go around and they see all these events happening, and there are a lot of the same businesses all the time. I want to encourage them to join because there's room. We'd love to have more people to help out or to be partnerships or whatever it is.
Yeah, there's no cap to membership, and some people think you have to be a business in Grayslake. And that's 100% not true. We have lots of Libertyville and Round Lake and Gurney businesses and Lake Villa that all come in and that support our chamber.
I love that. All right, tell me more about this grant. Any other, like somebody's going to listen to this and they're going to say, oh, do I fit the criteria, or what are these rules? Anything that we want to clarify?
We did not talk about who doesn't qualify.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
Dave Wool.
Anyway.
Who's going to shut it off right now?
Yeah.
Right.
So we briefly talked about insurance-covered expenses. So, if an expense is covered by insurance, the grant cannot be used. Double dipping, so if businesses cannot receive grant funds for the same purpose for multiple sources. So operational costs, like routine expenses like rent, utilities, payroll, or debt payments, we will not give you a grant for that. And then non-business related requests. So grants must be directly tied to the business improvement or the emergency relief. And a lot of that is through, of course, like you sharing your story on like why you wanted to apply for this grant to begin with, and then also sharing receipts and things of that nature.
Well, one thing for how we fund it is that we have what we're going to use a reimbursement model. So funds are reimbursed when you submit your receipts, unless there's an extenuating circumstance that justifies where we have to pay you in advance. But most of the time, most small businesses should be able to front it, and then they'll get reimbursed once we know that the project's been done. That helps keep it safe
A level
and
of accountability.
Yeah, some accountability there. But there are times that if that doesn't apply and someone's like, no, I absolutely have an extenuating circumstance and I can't do that, then we, as a chamber board, we would have to talk to the directors and have that approved. But that is an option.
Yeah, for sure. And of course, this is just starting out. Like as we continue to grow and hopefully the fund gets bigger and bigger, we could always reevaluate on that. But that's how we're doing it now.
Yeah. Well, anytime you try to do anything good, as you guys know, there's going to be possibly somebody that might complain or say, hey, why didn't they fit this or whatever. So it's one of those things you have to keep like.
Well, we're going to learn along the way, right?
Sure.
And
it looks like
you're perfect on the front, but
Right.
we've done a lot of homework.
Yes.
I think in the beginning we probably had much different guidelines and different ideas, and as we've narrowed it down and probably used ChatGPT to help us come up with examples, but like we've really gotten to a point where we feel like we can launch this in January and then we can tweak it as we need to, which will be nice. It's fluid, and we would love to have other people, help us in that way and help approve which grants, are selected.
Sure.
Yeah.
But we need at least one.
And yeah, back to like sitting on this for a year, right? This is very, very important to us. And of course, we want to launch it and it be perfection straight away. But we know that's unrealistic. But spending the year really going over all of these details and adding in and then also deleting and then also
looking at what other towns do.
I was going to say we did so many major stalking to figure out like who's the cool chamber and what are they doing, because we should do the same thing, and like a bit of research that way, which has been extremely helpful too, and has really, I think, given us some like healthy competition too, like oh, look what they're doing, we should do that,
Right.
So yeah, a lot has been poured into it in that, but I cannot wait for the 2026 launch, January. And I can't thank you enough for having it. I mean, I'm not ending this, friends, but just you giving us this platform to speak today, to really spread the word on this, because like Jamie said, one of our fears is that we'll launch this thing and no one will apply.
I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's going to be received extremely well.
With your help.
But
thank you.
Sort of to your point, you put it out there and somebody's going to have some feedback. We absolutely welcome that. If after hearing this you have thoughts or concerns, by all means, reach out to us, voice those thoughts, voice those concerns. If you want to be involved in any way, we're open to all feedback.
Yeah.
You can email Ryan at
Sarah at the Alwyn Collective.
No, but that's fun. And so it opens on the first of the year. So when will you make your decision? Do you have a deadline for that? Saying.
Well, we talked about doing it just during a certain time period, and then we thought, and since we're still launching it, that may happen down the road. Like Village of Gurnee has one. It's just like open for like 4 weeks in the beginning of the year. Right. But we're thinking for ours, because we're launching it, you could apply at any time. You can't predict when an emergency is going to happen. So you can apply at any time. I think ideally the beautification grant might be limited to a time period, but right now this year you can apply throughout the year. Once the application goes live, once the funds are depleted for the year, the funds are depleted for the year. But that is,
So you guys don't have a date where you're like, March 1st, we're going to make a decision on this.
Ongoing.
Probably depends on.
It depends on how many grants Dave applies for January 2nd.
Right. Well, I have a beautification grant that I definitely need. Maybe I'll come in and see you, Sarah. Right. Exactly. Okay. So that is it. So there's
it's really
no
the funding. Once the funding is depleted for the year, then it would reset the next year.
Yeah, we didn't want to be too strong in those guidelines straight away because we didn't want to prohibit anyone from applying.
Sure. And you just don't know what to expect. You might get 100 on.
Yeah. The demand is completely an unknown for us at this stage.
Nice. Okay, so what help do you guys need? Like, as your committee, do you need more committee members? Do you need another business to come through and say, hey, we'd like to donate $10,000 towards that grant? Is there somebody, are you looking for people like that?
I don't know if that's feasible, but Sarah says yes.
Yes, to all of those.
Well, if I don't say it, they can't say yes.
Yes, that's true.
Right.
So
True.
I get that.
There's that.
True.
But we would definitely, we love ideas. Like, it's just been the three of us, but we would love to have especially when the decision is being made, like none of us can apply for a grant.
Right.
And so, like, when the decision's being made, we would welcome other committee members to come in who are committed, for a calendar year to see us through this, to help give insight. When we meet for the scholarship committee to give away the Grayslake Chamber of Commerce scholarship to the high schoolers, there's a small, actually we're all on it. Yeah. There's a small group of us, plus a few more, that meet, that go over, the applicants, and we talk about that. So I think it's nice to have a few minds in the hive. Right. For that.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, we kept it small just for this year, but we've now opened it up to anyone who wants to be on the committee. And I know that there were several people on the board who were interested last year, but we were just, again, keeping it small. So I think we've already had a couple people sign up, and the more brain power, the better. And especially with, the grants is the biggest project we've been working on. Jamie had mentioned we had done these luncheons, almost like an awareness campaign through 2025. We will continue to plan other things that will benefit small business, like events, through our committee for 2026. And that sometimes means volunteers, like breathing and able bodies to do and be there to represent, it's just us three. We can't be everywhere at the same time, like all the time. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and really the goal in the development of this committee and what the three of us want to achieve is to support small businesses. Grants are one way to do that, and a great way to do it, right? Those other meetings that we've held, the session that we just had for planning for 2026 for small businesses is another way to do that. So as we can develop more ways to help those who make the community strong, being the small businesses, we're going to take advantage of the opportunities that are best available to us.
Yeah. It's often said that those who fail to plan are planning to fail. Joe Velez and his team at JPV Financial create unique financial plans that address some of the most difficult challenges that people might face as they get older. No matter what stage of life you're in, having a proactive financial plan can help navigate some of the difficult decisions you'll face, helping you live your life by design, not default. Securities and investment advisory service offered through Osaic Wealth Inc. Member FINRA SIPC. Most people have no idea what to do with their aging loved one who needs help. Well, there is a solution. A company that provides care and assistance to make your loved one feel right at home. At Right at Home, their mission statement is to improve the quality of life for those they serve. They offer extensive services: personal and companion care, safety supervision and transportation, fall prevention, dressing and bathing assistance, medical reminders, meal prep, hospice support, ambulation support, stroke recovery, Parkinson's support. The list goes on and on and on. If you have an aging loved one that needs help, call Right at Home. Most people prefer to age in their home rather than moving to an assisted living or nursing home. Right at Home can make this happen. Contact Right at Home at rightathomenlc.com or give them a call, 847-984-0103. Now back to the show.
That's awesome. I commend you all for what you're doing too, because I think it's a cool way to give back, and it's just nice to see you're doing what a chamber's supposed to be doing, right?
We're in a really healthy place with the Grayslake Chamber of Commerce. There's funds to be had, there's funds to be spent.
We've worked hard to get there.
Yeah, and the chamber's in a really healthy place. It's grown a lot, thanks to Mary Beth's help, and it's grown so much. And just now we're in a place where we're in a position to really not just be event planners and event volunteers, but really expand it to where our goal is always, first and foremost, to support small businesses and give them opportunities to network. Because the worst thing is when you go to a luncheon or you realize, oh, I need a plumber, and then there's one sitting across the table from you, but you've never introduced yourself. We really want it's good to support other small businesses.
Absolutely.
In this way.
Absolutely.
And I really do want to thank the Chamber of Commerce for giving us the opportunity to even create this committee, and also Mary Beth for her trust in the three of us to really take it and run with it. And we've been giving her updates, through the year, and the board updates throughout the year and approval of all the things. But I think it was really cool of them where we're like, hey, we want to take initiative. We're going to do this thing. And she's like, yes, absolutely. And we have. But if it wasn't for the trust and the opportunity provided by the chamber, right, we couldn't do this. And when Mary Beth harassed me years ago to be a part of this,
she has a good way of doing that.
She does. And I said no a couple times before I jumped on, and then dragged Ryan with me. And apparently we just do all the things together, Ryan, which I love.
It's a
lot of fun. I appreciate it. This is why I wanted to join the chamber, was to make an impact. And I've served on other boards in the community, and that's been very fruitful. But I always felt like we needed to do more for a small business. So this is something I think, when did we get on? 5 years ago? And the chamber was rebuilding, and there was fresh air being breathed into, things like this. We weren't in a spot then where we could do that. And I was like, okay, well, we'll get there. Yeah. So I remember in January when we first talked to the board about this and we were going to do it, and I'm talking to, a room of, how many people do we have on the general board now?
20-ish.
Yeah. And I started to kind of choke up in my throat like a small child when I was talking about this, you guys, we're going to... Sorry, I just get really emotional because I have been waiting, it feels like forever, to do this with people like you, Jamie, and Ryan, and the chamber, because nothing feeds my soul more than seeing a small business have a positive impact and make a change, like a true change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. And it's the little things, right? And everything gets better, and everybody grows when others grow and make our community better. So I love it. All right, what are we neglecting to say? First of all, if you want to apply for this, it opens on January 1st. Is that correct?
Roughly, beginning of January. We'll give ourselves
We're
a few
working with
days
Eli
grace.
on that.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And what is the Chamber website? What is it? Do we know? Isn't it? Everybody is grabbing your.
I will say what we haven't said yet is, yes, I have eaten a roller dog from the gas station.
Yes. Well, it's very
It's so
important.
easy. It's GrayslakeChamber.com.
Okay, that's what I figured it would be, but I didn't want to speak before that. Speaking of roller dogs,
Yes.
I'm very upset because Mike Pruitt, I thought I was going to get to choose what holiday drink, pop-up drink I was going to have, which right now it's a toasted marshmallow old fashioned, but I was looking for like a hot dog water martini. So I just want to let it be seen.
You missed
so if
an
you're doing
opportunity
this,
there.
I asked, and for some reason, I think Mike might have heard stuff about me or something. I don't know.
Anybody who listens to this podcast knows the roller dog is it.
Exactly.
Have you eaten a roller dog?
I'm sure I
course.
have. I grew up in Elk Grove.
I mean,
there's
come
a lot
on.
of gas
I
stations
knew
down
we
there.
were on the same committee for a reason.
Right.
Actually, to go back, there's a hot dog documentary from 1997. And I swear to God, you can find it on YouTube. And message
Now
me,
I'm
I'll send
going
you the
to.
link. And I'm sitting there, I was at summers at DePaul University. I'm sitting there in 1998 maybe. And so I'm 18, 19 years old. I'm in a little plaid dress. I'm at Demon Dogs, which was owned by the Chicago band, and it's no longer there. It was under the L on Fullerton. And so I'm sitting there, and I think I'm in the restaurant. It's not even a restaurant. It's like you walk in and order. I have a cigarette in my hand. This is back when Jamie was very young. And I was like, there's a clip of me like with a cigarette in my hand, explain that to my kids at a hot dog place. So I love hot dogs. And I like where this turned because this is the real meat of the
What's
conversation.
important?
It's far more important.
So I'm in a hot dog documentary. I'm not featured. I was just in there, but I'm like sitting there.
I have been around a hot dog celebrity all this time, and this is the
it's
first
not something
time.
I lead with.
All the time in my chair. This was never outed.
I don't
and there's
lead with this
usually
one.
the deepest, darkest secrets
Secrets,
come
yeah.
out in the hair chair.
I'll send you the link.
Absolutely.
I have it queued up.
Send us
it's in
the
it's in my
link.
favorites in YouTube. It's all good.
Oh my God. All right, so to bring this full circle, let's say that I want to apply for a grant because I think that I should have a roller dog machine in here. I could submit for that because that would enrich the
That's
community.
an excellent use of our funding.
I think that would be
As
good.
long as it's available to the village, like to the public, not just your own private use.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'd just be here all the time just to for people to try and stuff. But that's the kind
Dave's
of
dogs.
Dave's. There's a lot of ways we can go with that. I'm going to just completely leave that one alone. But like improvements like that. So
Yeah.
I'm really excited
Precisely.
to see.
I think people have great ideas, more than we're even thinking about.
Yeah.
So I think that's what's exciting when someone comes to us and says, I have this idea, or I want to do a marketing piece for social media, and I can't afford the videographer to do that, but I really want a commercial about my business, let's say a 30-second,
idea.
1-minute ad about my business, and we could help offset the cost of a videographer to do a spotlight on them. And there's marketing. Grayslake is made up of so many businesses. And I give the Village of Grayslake a big shout out because I feel like in the Grayslake community forums online, if someone says, I need a blank or I need a blank, there's so many people who chime in that say, and there's hardly ever any negative experiences. It's like, call this guy, I got a guy here. And I think if we don't have that, like businesses, if they leave, there's a hole. Like there's holes on, Center Street, and we just feel like we want it to be vibrant and thriving, because that makes, for my job as a realtor, that makes Grayslake easy to sell. It's so easy to sell. It's Mayberry. I've called it that for years. It's this little Mayberry, and it's a downtown area, and it's so sweet and caring, and we want to give back to the businesses so they feel like, wow, it's not just, I'm just not just a number. Like the Village of Grayslake and the Chamber wants to see me, thrive and succeed.
Right. And it's really fun for the events like just the Festival of Lights to be around people that aren't from Grayslake and to just eavesdrop on their conversations. We're like, this town is so cool, like, blah, blah, and talk about all the little things. Because I think sometimes we take it for granted that we live here, right? And we're surrounded by a lot of really awesome stuff.
I agree.
Yeah,
So,
and that's
it's
what
fun.
keeps us cool, is the innovation and creativity of small businesses, and that's some of what the grants will push for. It's the Sharknado of it all. which we talked about the
Yes.
Sharknado theory on the other episode I was with you on, which is somewhere in an office, someone was in a meeting talking about movie ideas, and someone said, Sharknado.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
Right? Who
Probably
hasn't?
more than once.
And somebody said, hell yeah, that's an
That's an
awesome idea.
And Ian Ziering's like, I'm going to sign up for that.
Right.
And who knew, right? There were probably some doubters. But
Some doubters?
I mean,
Yeah,
There may
probably.
still be
how
doubters.
many
there still
movies?
are.
How many movies are there?
Exactly.
Right.
Well, right.
Yeah. So the Sharknado of it all. That's what I'm excited for.
Right, exactly. And
Bring your ideas. Bring
Right.
some great ideas. I think
So
that'll be exciting.
get after it.
Do
is
it,
how I
Grayslake.
say. Yes. Well, thank you guys so much for coming. Is there anything else we need to mention?
No.
Nope. Get on and apply beginning of January. If you have any questions, write into here. Also, I know you guys are willing to take phone calls, emails, anything at the chamber, whatever we need to do. So I appreciate you all for everything great that you guys are doing, and we just keep enriching and we get better and better, right? So,
Thank you, Dave.
yeah, oh my God, thank you guys. I
Thank you.
appreciate it very much.
Thanks, Dave.
All right. Hey, Grayslake, wherever you guys are listening, do me a favor, whether you're on YouTube, whether you're on Apple, whether you're on Spotify, or wherever the heck you're listening, hit the subscribe button. That way, every Tuesday, you get to meet somebody new from our community or keep up on things that are going on. So, and as I always end, make sure to get out there, do 1-2 different random acts of kindness today, especially this time of year during the holidays. People have shitty times, and you never know what anybody's going through. So be
Holidays
kind.
are hard.
Right. Give somebody a hug. Open the door for somebody. Just a smile can change somebody's day around. So get out and do good, Grayslake. So thank you guys very much. And Grayslake, we'll see you next Tuesday, everybody.